This begs the question then, what is a real conservative, a quote-unquote real conservative? I've had this debate with a lot of people over time, and I think it's a good question. So this is a very important thing. If you call yourself a conservative, there needs to be things that you stand for. If you call yourself a liberal, there needs to be things you need to stand for. And I think there's kind of just this hodgepodge of various, just questions about it. And I think that I came up with a couple. I came up with three major things and major themes that define conservatism. And it all comes from, again, the ultimate question of this, which is something that Matt Walsh asks a lot. So the question that Matt Walsh asks a ton, which is the right question to ask in my view, is what are you conserving? What are you conserving? You cannot call yourself a conservative if you do not conserve anything. This is the one flaw, like I said earlier, with MAGA, which will be its downfall if they don't fix this, is that they don't have a clear vision for the future outside of Donald Trump. Donald Trump's only going to be here for another 3 years. He's only going to be here for another 3 years, which is going to cause it to fall apart like the Tea Party did, like all this other kind of stuff. It doesn't. We don't have a vision. Proverbs says this. It's biblical. Without a vision, people perish. So this is why, this is an encouraging sign, this is why all the people like Vance, Ramaswamy, Hegseth, Gabbard, Kash Patel, all of the younger members of the cabinet are so important, is because it's showing them that they have a future, and that future is more MAGA than quote-unquote conservatism of old, which is not conservative in Republican politics at all. And I wanted to kind of string together a couple of things that I think are really important to conservatives today, and I think what conservatism needs to be defined on. And I think they can win on all three of these issues. The first one is an emphasis on the family and an emphasis on values. And values, particularly around the flourishing of the American family, which has been totally gutted over the last decades. It's just like the amount of barriers in the way. I'm reading a great book on this by Tim Carney right now. Shout out to Tim Carney. And I read a great book on marriage read a great book by Brad Wilcox on marriage. Shout out to Brad Wilcox. The amount of opposition towards marriage and family by the government and by our culture is outrageous. It's outrageous. So values around the flourishing of the family and becoming the party of the family, the party that says, get married, stay married, have kids, raise kids, be a part of a community with children inside of it. That is going to be absolutely critical. And I think J.D. Vance has been a home run on this. He's been an absolute home run on this. And as have Vivek Ramaswamy and as have Bobby Kennedy, in my view, even though Bobby Kennedy's been divorced 3 times, but he has 7 kids and, all the sorts of things. He comes from a family structure and has advocated for the family. If family, and when you ask people this generally, and I think this is true regardless of your politics, but family is the most important thing, particularly for religious people, for Christians, for Muslims, for Jews, for Hindus, to many Americans. It's important for a lot of people, but particularly to religious people. And by the way, the right has an advantage with religious people. We have an advantage with now majority Muslims, or not majority Muslims, but we're increasing our share of Muslims, Catholics, Christians, Jews, maybe not a lot of Jews, but some Jews, like some Muslims, are coming over to our side and run an outside margin compared to what they usually do inside of this election. And this is very, very critical. We must inspire young people to get married, to have families, and to have children within those families. This is where Elon Musk is wrong on this. Owen Strand had a great video about this a couple days ago, the great Owen Strand, where he said, the point is more children, yes, but children within the family. That details matter, as Jack Reacher says. We need to have marriages that lead to families and children with those families. If we align conservatism to supporting the family, which is an inherently conservative institution, Vivek Ramaswamy gets this right. He says the nuclear family is the most important and foundational form of governments in the history of mankind. He's absolutely right about that. Absolutely right about that. That is a home run issue about emphasizing and becoming the party of the family, particularly for young people. Young people want families, but we just don't think that we can have families. I do, but a lot of people don't. And so that needs to be emphasized. The second one is something that Trump has been a home run on this, an emphasis on opportunity and excellence through that opportunity. So Trump promised to unify America through exceptionalism, through winning, as he likes to say. This is a great idea. This is a great idea, and it hits home with everybody. I don't care how much of an advocate, quote unquote, you are for marginalized people or whatever. I don't care about that. This one hits home with everybody. Everybody. Conservatives, liberals, independents, whatever. Achievement and hard work are universal things, even if the people on the left sometimes don't want to admit it. This is where Elon Musk and the anti-woke DEI stuff is very, very important. We need people to strive, to build, and to be encouraged to take risks and to be great at things. We need to honor our heroes. We need to honor people who are great, to inspire greatness in others. To maybe atone for my anti-Ben Shapiro stance earlier on, Ben Shapiro nailed this earlier this year when Elon Musk's Mechazilla caught the rocket when it was coming back from space for the first time, and people, including me, were like, that is the most wild thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And then the people on the left lampooned it. And they said, like, oh, like, they're just, it's just a rocket coming back from space. What's the big deal? I'm like, that's a big deal. Like, can we admit that's a big deal, right? And so we need to become the people that are honoring of greatness. This is why I think, Trump doing this thing with Nick Saban in college football is important. Nick Saban is the greatest college football coach ever. And the fact that he's working with Donald Trump to make college football into a better system, that's a great sign. Sports are amazing vehicles for excellence. Amazing vehicles for excellence. I love John Jones when he defended the heavyweight title and he handed the belt to Donald Trump. That was a great moment. It was a great moment in Madison Square Garden, the most famous arena in the history of the world. Inspiring greatness in people. That's very important. And the third thing is, I believe the most inspirational line of the campaign didn't come from Donald Trump, it came from Bobby Kennedy, when he said that we need to love something greater more than hating each other. And I thought, nailed it, bar, absolute bar. And it's important to call this out and to be honest with this. Right now, the American left is defined by hatred. The American left is defined by hatred now of Donald Trump, of America, of its people. They called us garbage. They called us deplorables. They hate the country. You don't love something and want to change everything about it. They hate America. They hate half of the country. They hate Donald Trump. They hate what he stands for. They hate all the things that he advocates for. It's clear as day. Just turn on the cable news. So, if conservatives are to become Arthur Brooks makes this point, become the party of love rather than hate, love always wins over hate. It always does. If we are able to define and protect causes that they love, patriotism, families, communities, etc., they will dominate the future and win people over, particularly young people, by the way, working class people, minorities, for decades to come. Absolute decades to come. We are seeing seeds of this planet now, which is awesome, and we need to press the pedal down. We need to keep it up. If we do this, if we could become the part, this is going to sound so cheesy, if we become the party of love, the cause of love, we're going to win. It's not even a question. We will win. Because hatred is so divisive. It's so awful for so many reasons that if we just love people and we love causes that we think are admirable, we'll win. We will 100% win. So the party of the family, the party of excellence, and the party of loving things over hating things. I think if the GOP does that, then we'll run roughshod over everybody. At least that's the hope.